Alright, hello again everyone. We are Nerds in a Box, and this is episode 3.
Woo.
So, yeah, I know, woo. So, hello. If you're watching us for the first time, we're Nerds in a Box. I'm John Dwyer.
Dan Kiefer.
Steph.
Yes, Steph. Or hello, Steph.
On the interwebs.
Yes, it's absolutely wonderful to have you here.
It's wonderful to be here.
And now she is part of the box.
Yes.
For those watching our podcast, like the hour long, you won't see this, but if you look on our video, you'll see that she is actually drawn on the background of our box, as all of our guests will as soon as they appear on our show.
And
be
I
part
got a
of
sonic
the box.
screwdriver.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh wow, you did put me in a lesbian vest. Good job.
Yep.
You said vest, I put the vest.
Yeah, so we got you covered.
Sweet.
So,
With a vest.
yeah.
I
With
appreciate
the
the
vest, so
details.
we're gonna need a bigger box eventually.
Oh yeah.
But usually, Tessa Borlata is the third person in the chair to my left.
Mm-hmm.
But this week she's at Dragon Con.
Woo.
Great for her. Great
We
for
are
her.
not.
We're not bitter at all.
Really?
Nope.
She met James Gunn today,
That's
so
awesome.
So we're definitely not there.
Yeah. For warning, we almost put you in the little box, Tessa.
Love you.
But we're happy for you.
We're happy because she's doing publicity for us. So thank you. Tonight's topic. Well, I guess tonight's topic because we are releasing this Monday nights.
Yeah.
So, we're going to be talking about Doctor Who. We're going to kind of go away from comics a little bit, because that was pretty much our first 2 weeks, a little bit. So,
Although there are Doctor Who comics.
yes, there are Doctor Who comics, but we're focusing primarily on the TV show. So, Peter Capaldi, what do we think?
I have mixed feelings. Like, part of me is glad that he's taking over for the 12th, that he's going to be the 12th Doctor, because I feel because of his age, it kind of desexualizes the Doctor, and they never made 10 or 11 to be sexualized, but with teenage girls, they automatically do that.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of the Doctor as a person was taken away, but because we now have an older Doctor, it's going to be creepy if a 13-year-old is like, whoo!
Yeah.
Peter! So...
No,
I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of what they're trying to hit home, at least in the first episode, because it ends with Peter Capaldi apologizing to Clara if he ever gave the impression that they were boyfriend girlfriend, or if they were ever a thing, which almost seemed like Moffat being like, they're not a thing. When they were in the restaurant, when they finally met up together and they both figured out the clue, it really started to click. The dialogue was back and forth. It was this great witty banter that they had, because she thought that that she was describing him and as like an egomaniac and needy, and he thought that he was describing her, and he's like, needy and egocentric. And then she realized, she was like, wait, what do you mean needy and egocentric? It's like, this is not the right time because something is going bad. And she's like, no, this is the perfect time to talk about it.
Right. So
he really started to endear himself to me around that part, and it got better as it went on, because I think what Peter Capaldi does really well is the quick talk banter stuff, because he had a lot of that with the robot in the first episode in Deep Breath, and he had that with Clara, and he had that with everybody. And it's continued a little more in the second episode, although you can definitely tell some of his gruffness, because in this episode he meets up with soldiers, and he does not like the soldiers at all.
Nope.
Granted, a lot of times when he meets soldiers in Doctor Who, like 2/3 of them turn out to be jerks.
Yeah, they do something to like endanger everybody else for the sake of their self.
Exactly. So obviously he doesn't like soldiers, but definitely more than at least Eccleston Smith. Also introduced in this new episode is Danny Pink, but I want to know where he's gonna come in, because since he used to be a soldier, a lot of people are wondering if he's gonna be a companion. Which would be interesting, considering that this past episode was all about the Doctor saying, I don't like soldiers. Because, the lieutenant he was with, Journey Blue, wanted to be one of his companions, his new companion. He said, I would love to, it's too bad you're a soldier.
Maybe he's going to be the reason why Clara leaves.
I really hope that he's not just like some convenient boy toy for Clara, because
I hope not, because that also takes away Clara being an independent person by making her leave for some dude.
Exactly. Well, Jack Harkness, everybody wants him to come back. He wants to come back. Doctor Who fans want him to come back. Everybody wants him to come back. And I don't know if they ever will, but God, I hope so, because he's going to be around literally forever. Or not forever, but a long time.
With the end of Torchwood,
He's got a lot of free time.
Exactly. No, they definitely can. I mean, what was the last thing he did? What games was it? He sang at some games in Europe.
I cannot answer this question.
My sister showed me a video of him. He came out in like this giant purple kilt in the middle of the stage.
That sounds like John Barrowman.
Anyway, just like look it up.
That sounds like John Barrowman.
If I find the link, I'll add it below.
He can at least come back for an episode or two. I mean, everyone wants him back.
Exactly.
The best would be if he came back and neither Clara nor Peter Capaldi were just like, "Who are you?
Who are you?" Yeah.
He's like,
I would love
Jack
to
Harkness.
see.
I would love it if he came back and he just like kissed Peter Capaldi.
Right
like
on
what
the
he
mouth.
did. Yeah, like what he did before when he left, and then Peter Capaldi's just like,
Am I a
what's
good
going
man?
on?
Am I a good man?
What's going on?
I just would love to see Peter's interaction with Jack, because it's one thing for Tennant and Smith or any other doctor to interact with him, but because that this is such a dark doctor and an older doctor, I want them to be locked in a room together so badly.
That would be really fun.
Just to see what happens.
I would love that.
Like the real world doctor.
I would watch that. I would watch that.
That'd be fun.
Well, I guess we're talking about Jack Harkness.
Yeah.
I guess we can go into
Let's do
our
it.
quasi next segment. So every week we usually have some kind of superhero spotlight. Obviously, well, it depends on who you ask and the definition of superhero.
Jack Harkness is a superhero.
All right, cool.
He's immortal, John.
So we're gonna
He
yes.
is. And he's selfless, and he's really good looking, and yes, like this is coming from a lesbian. I think he's a great superhero.
Yes.
But yeah, okay,
Well,
cool. So Jack Harkness, let me
Yes,
pull up
Jack
my handy
Harkness.
dandy.
Jack Harkness, John Barrowman.
Yes, I'm awful at remembering things.
Dan's gonna take control.
Cool.
of this one.
So I'm sure a lot of people that you guys are watching this know about Doctor Who, have seen Jack Harkness, Captain Jack Harkness. He actually grew up in a place called the Beauchene Peninsula, and it was in the future. He and his family were out playing. He went running with his brother, lost his brother, and when he came back, because he hid in some bushes, these alien invaders flew over. Bombed the place. His dad was dead. His mom was in hysterics, and his brother was gone. Great, happy prologue for his life. He went out to try and find his brother. Ended up signing up for the Time Agency, which is actually where, if more spoilers, he actually became the face of Bo, because he was the first person from the Beauchene Peninsula to ever sign up for the Time Agency. From there, he kind of jumped around. He became a little bit of a con artist, and then ran into the Doctor.
Yep.
After that, he spent a couple journeys with the Doctor, different companions, and he actually died with the Doctor. They fought. I know this. It wasn't a bunch. Yeah, I think it was a bunch of Daleks. And this was during the time of Rose. You gotta look it up.
The first time he died?
Yeah, the first time he died, because
Yeah.
Rose had actually been tricked off the ship, but she had spent so much time on the ship that she got like the time stream powers, like powers similar to the time stream. She didn't know how to control her powers. Used it to bring Captain Jack Harkness back to life, and
to the point where he is now immortal.
Yeah. And like you'll see him in other episodes as the face of Bo, and you don't really make that connection until they tell you that backstory.
Yeah.
Exactly. Until he finally tells him. But yeah, besides that, when he became immortal, the Doctor was like, "Wow, you're a fixed point in time. You're immortal. You can't be here." So he kicked him off the ship, stranded him in the future. I think it was 2055. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. And to find the Doctor, he tried to travel back in time to find Rose, skipped a couple years, ended up in the 19th century, waited and waited, and ended up working for Torchwood, which is an organization on Earth meant to stop alien invasion and all that fun stuff. Ended up being the lead of Torchwood 3, which is actually shown on the TV show Torchwood, which was a great show. Not the greatest of endings, but the show itself is a lot of fun. And if you enjoy Captain Jack Harkness, which if you don't, you're wrong, I definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah, so he did that. Ended up going with the Doctor every now and then, but right now he's kind of just nowhere to be seen in the Doctor Who universe, and I really want to see him come back.
Yeah, I would like to see him come back. Great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job.
Kind of rambled through that a little bit, but
it's okay. That's not really doing on this podcast. We're just kind of rambling anyway. So yeah, I'm surprised people still listen to us.
I know. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Don't stop listening.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, I think that's what I want. Jack Harkness, an explanation for why he's suddenly feeling like all this guilt for what's going on, and I guess more explanation about the Heaven storyline.
Right.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's going to explain it, but
right now we just have to deal with the breadcrumbs.
And the frustrating thing about Moffat is that when he tells a story, he also is like, here's this, but we may not give you resolution until
5 seasons later.
Yeah, until 2 seasons later.
Those breadcrumbs are delicious.
When your kids are watching Doctor Who, they'll get your love.
Yep, exactly. Actually, before I forget, we got a question on our page from Scott Amrine. First off, thank you for sending us a question.
That was a really good
question.
So,
you know what? Actually, let me bring up his question.
That was a really tough question.
That was a really tough question.
What am I getting myself into? I have not seen this question.
We just picked her up today. She was like, yeah, sure, what? What am I doing?
Here
Yeah.
I am.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you again for having me.
So, let me see.
I believe in you.
Well, it's having a hard time loading. So, his question was, where is the strangest place a battle has occurred in comics?
Yes. And
do you have an answer, Danny?
Location, not so much as scenario. Because location, it all depends on context. Because they've had battles all over the world, all over like other worlds, outside space. I personally think it'd be weird to have a battle on the moon, but there's been plenty of those.
There's been lots. Original Sin just had a battle right outside the moon, right outside its gravitational pull.
Because that's the thing, zero gravity fights, I feel like would be one of the strangest things to go through.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Mm-hmm. I mean, you and I were talking about it the other day, and it's like the strangest place to have a battle almost seems like having it take place in the real world.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, in normal settings.
The most common places for us would be the weirdest for a battle, because I would be really confused if I was like, and then they burst into their grandmother's kitchen and started fighting.
I was thinking if they're in this kid's bedroom, this kid was asleep and they wanted the kid to stay asleep, so they're just quietly fighting around this kid's bed. I don't know where that would be. I don't know what comic that would end up in, but I want it to happen.
The answer would always be Deadpool. I mean, if you want strange battles, just go to Deadpool.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's a whole comic book storyline where he's been hired because presidents, past presidents, have risen from the dead and they're zombies, and he needs to kill them.
Yeah.
He has to fight Teddy Roosevelt as a zombie in a zoo. In a zoo with all these animals.
Which, it's a zoo.
And there's a great line where it's like, can we talk about the elephant in the room? It's like, what? No, the actual elephant in the room right now. Mm-hmm. So, he's got all kinds of strange storylines. And then there's one, I believe you were telling me about this, what was it? It was...
Arcade?
No, well, yeah, but I was thinking more, what was it, Godzilla versus Shaquille O'Neal?
No. It was Charles Barkley versus Godzilla.
Yep.
That is the strangest fight that we've ever seen. Not necessarily location, but it was an old mashup. God, it was so long ago. But it was Charles Barkley versus Godzilla.
Yep.
Who won?
Charles Barkley.
because it has to make sense.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. And note, it wasn't like they were the same size.
Oh.
I kid you not.
Yeah, it was like...
It wasn't like tiny Charles Barkley versus Godzilla. No, Charles Barkley was the same size as Godzilla. It was a thing.
I feel like that could work, because Godzilla's usually like lumbering and slow, and
Charles Barkley is lumbering
I guess
and slow.
Charles Barkley's not exactly the best example of a quick person, but I feel like he'd be able to move a little faster than
That's
Godzilla.
enough.
So, I think, yeah. So that's our answer, is that we don't really have one aside from taking place in the real world. And Deadpool, I believe, had this whole storyline where he had to like
fight in a zoo.
Where he had to kill like the comic book writers.
Oh yeah,
like,
that was another one.
Yeah, so that's another one. Just Deadpool. If you want weird storylines, go for Deadpool. Moving on to the little box. So this week we were joking about how we were going to put Tessa in the little box,
but we're not.
You're welcome, because we love you, and you're out at Dragon Con. Being awesome.
And we're not bitter.
Check out her cosplays.
They are so great. Mm-hmm. They're so great. And then if you look at that, you can formulate more cosplay questions that she can answer, because she dressed up as Winter Soldier.
The Winter Soldier one is really good.
Yep.
Check it out.
Post-apocalyptic Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Jack Frost
was a cool one. Yes.
If you guys don't know, Tessa's actually a fairly tall individual, and if you look at Jack Frost's staff, like, it's a good, like, foot taller than her. That thing is huge.
Yes, although Austin Edwards did make that.
Yes.
So giving credit where credit's due, Austin did that. So if you look at that and you think, hey, that'd be really cool, talk to Tessa about it, ask her, and she'll be able to help you out. Mm-hmm. So, that being said, Little Box. We decided this week to put Nickelodeon in the Little Box.
Yes.
Keeping with the Avatar theme. Dan?
So, if you guys do not know, after Avatar The Last Airbender ended, a couple years later, they added Korra, The Legend of Korra, and it's a phenomenal show. I was a little worried at first, but they've been doing really well with it, and Nickelodeon decided to take it off the air and just put it online, which is a terrible decision. They're going to be losing a lot of viewers, and I swear, if they lose viewers because it's not online anymore, or not on air and only online, and we're like, we didn't get as big of a crowd as we thought we would, we're going to cut this show, I will be so pissed. So this is more or less a tentative. If they cut Korra, then they live in the box. But that's my...
You're taking this really personally.
Well, hey, it's a great show. Shows should not be canceled early, as everybody agrees.
Yes.
And it just... Don't be dumb. A show is doing well. Keep it on air. Come on, guys. Come on.
So on that note, Nickelodeon is going in the Little Box. Nick. Nick.
And you are walking on eggshells of permanently staying in the box.
Do not get on Dan's bad side, or this box will be your home.
Yeah.
So, Nickelodeon is in our Little Box this week. If you guys have any suggestions for who should go in the Little Box, please tell us on this video, on our page. Just tell us who you think should be in the Little Box, the Doghouse, this week.
Yep.
And on top of that, if you guys have any questions for us at all, like Scott did, post that to our wall, message us on Facebook, write on our wall, and we'll answer it. And thank you for liking our page. Share this video. Share it. Just be awesome. If you'd like to share it, it'd be super awesome if you did. But just thanks for watching. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
So, and thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you.
Steph. Hello, Steph.
Hello.
If you want to watch any of Steph's videos, hello, Steph, on
Can you
YouTube.
say that any weirder?
On
Hello, Steph.
Oh,
I feel like it lends itself
You
to
can.
that accent, though.
Sorry.
Hello, Steph. So yeah, absolutely wonderful. So much fun. So watch our videos. Hello, Steph, on Facebook, on Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube. Just check her out.
Right.
I guess it's time to sign off. Mm-hmm. So thank you guys for tuning in this week. We're going to have another episode for you next week. We'll release a topic every Friday so that you guys are ready for it and you get excited for it. Keep posted to our Twitter, to our Facebook, things like that, so that we can keep you up to date with things. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Share our video, share everything. Signing off, I'm John Dwyer.
Dan Kiefer.
Hello, Steph.
And we are Nerds in a Box. Good night, everybody.